presented by Private Internet Access.
Welcome back to We're All Satoshi. I'm Rick Falkfinger, and today we have Aron Koenig as our guest, who just published a new book, Cryptocoins, Investing in Digital Currency.
Yes, I did.
This book is a practical advice for investing in currency, not just a marketing book. Who is this book aiming for?
Well, the main target group are really new people who heard about Bitcoin, heard about crypto, get excited, but don't know how to start. So I really explain the details, the nuts and bolts. Yeah, what's mining, what's a blockchain, all these things. I also explain how to use a wallet and how to store your Bitcoin safely. Then I have 3 chapters about 3 different types of coins, because they're not all the same. Yeah, we have the long list on CoinMarketCap of all these hundreds of coins, and they're all on the same list, but actually they're quite different. Yeah, you have the coins that are really meant to be money, such as Bitcoin and Dash and Litecoin, you name it. But then you have all these app coins who don't compete. Yeah, some people think Ethereum or Ether competes with Bitcoin. It doesn't. Yeah, it's a completely different thing.
Right.
Most people don't know. There is also this phenomenon of regional or national coins. There was the Aurora coin in Iceland.
The Dutch golden coin.
Exactly. So I write about those. I mean, you won't invest in them maybe, but I try to make because it's impossible to cover all of these hundreds of coins. Yeah, you can't expect that. You also can't expect me to give you advice in which coin to invest. Yeah, I think that would be even illegal. And I couldn't do it because things are changing. And of course, a book is not the best thing to write about current developments. I mean, of course not. Yeah, but
it has a year in print to begin with.
Yeah, exactly, or maybe even more. I mean, my first book, which was published in 2015, it's still okay. The only thing I had to change for the second edition was some figures, but everything else is pretty timeless. And the only thing that's a bit current, I mean, I had a chapter about this 22nd of May, which was the day of the Bitcoin Pizza Day, the day when Bitcoin went over $2,000, and the day of the New York Agreement, which was was the last chapter, the first chapter. It's kind of a scenic introduction.
So
you like that?
And
I'd finished the book, and then I went to New York to that conference, and there was this amazing party which was put together in just one day, and this event that the Bitcoin was more than $2,000 in the New York Agreement, and said, somebody wrote that script just for me to write that nice first chapter for my book, because I wasn't so happy with the beginning, right? I mean, you can explain what's mining blockchain, but it's not a nice start for a book. So I was really, really happy about all these events coming together in one day. So I could write about that funny $10,000 Bitcoin pizza story, which is always nice to start something, right?
10,000 Bitcoin today. What would that be?
4 million? A little bit less than $4 million.
Just under $4 million for 2 pizzas. You
heard that story before, but it's always a great story to get people hooked. I wrote about the block size debate, which is a pretty, usually it's very hard to capture because it's changing all the time. But in this particular context, saying, hey, this is the New York Agreement, there are these parties, I could give a certain introduction to it without having to take a stand on it. Yeah, it's not that I want to discuss it or that I'm this or that party. That's not my role. That's your role.
Cool. So it must be hard writing a book like this that's timeless, and still we can see that there's already been a land grab. Like, the web is not going away from the internet. Bitcoin is probably not going to disappear altogether. Ethereum is probably not going to disappear altogether. Then again, you have the 6 degrees that was replaced by Friendster, that was replaced by MySpace, that has now been replaced by Facebook. So it's always hard to predict which first movers are going to stay first movers. Then again, we'll see how timeless a book is. Austrian economics is timeless. Investing is kind of timeless. You also have this Bitfilm project. Does that tie into your books?
Well, some of the pictures in the book are taken from our films, but otherwise, I mean, of course, yeah, the content. I mean, most of the clients that we work for, maybe I should tell what Bitfilm is. Yeah, it's a production company now. It actually started in 1999. Most people think, another Bit name, how boring. But we have this name since 1999, 10 years before Bitcoin. And even then I thought it's not very original. It just stands for digital film, right? Bitfilm. And the domain was free and everything fine. In the beginning, it was actually meant to be some kind of platform for filmmakers, some kind of early version of YouTube, way too early. But since 2012, we produce films, these short explainer videos that all companies, all ICOs now need. So there's a lot of business to do in that. And most of our clients are from the Bitcoin crypto blockchain world. I think we made more than 30 videos for Bitcoin startups, crypto, Steam, whatever. We have a series, and so we're pretty. I mean, the topic is the same. It's just a different way to treat things, of course.
Cool.
And it's fun. I like it. I like doing films.
So what are you doing next? You've written 2 books. You're producing film. Where are you going from here? What's your next project already?
Well, I have a startup with a friend of mine in Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires?
Yes. Yeah, I'm quite often in South America. It's actually Rodolfo. He's also the organizer of the Latin American Bitcoin conference, which I think is the best Bitcoin conference on this planet. It's rotating in South America.
Okay.
So the guys are in Argentina, but they did it in Brazil, in Mexico. This year will be in Colombia. I've been to all of them, and he's Mr. Bitcoin in South America. Okay. Yeah, he's definitely one of the, and he's my partner, and we'll do a business. But I talk about it when it's more mature.
Okay.
It's still a bit early stage.
Do people in South America understand the purpose of Bitcoin better because they've had hyperinflation?
Yes, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, to an Argentinian, you don't have to explain that you better not trust a bank. He knows it from personal experience. A German knows it from the history books, from inflation of the 20s or reforms or whatever. But today everybody thinks, the euro and Angela Merkel will save it or whatever. An Argentinian knows so well you don't trust politicians, you don't trust banks. What they did so far, they bought dollars on the black market and put it under their mattress or whatever. Now, of course, more and more people go into crypto because it's much safer than the dollar. But of course, it's not that you get it at every corner in Argentina. But the awareness is much higher. That's, I think, why it's so much stronger in especially Argentina, Brazil, all these countries.
So the US dollar is extremely overstretched if you're looking at the Fed balances and the current quantitative easing. Just a pretty name for printing money until the printers glow. What do you tell an American person to make them understand what the South Americans have experienced and the Germans learned from history books?
That's a good point. Of course, they don't have that personal experience, right? I mean, of course, you can tell them that the dollar in 1913, when the Fed was founded, had a purchasing power that was, I don't know how many times, 1,000 times higher. I don't know the figures, but if you see the inflation of the dollar and the price devaluation, it's also pretty impressive. It's not like the Argentine peso or the mark, but of course, you feel it, that you can afford less for your buck. It's not that obvious for instance, as in Argentina. It's true, But anyway, there are many US Americans who are pretty excited about crypto, so it can't be that difficult.
That's true.